Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Yes, 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 yes. How y'all doing today? We got an excited word to define today. Metaphysical word defined today. And I got an announcement to make too. What we gonna do, we gonna switch. I just gave y'all a 7-day test run to see how y'all like it, and a lot of people like it. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna switch it to Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock, and stay on that schedule. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from the A's, the next 7B, then we're gonna go to C, and so on and so forth. But we're gonna switch it just for one night a week, because I got my other shows. I got Thursday night Underdog Madness, and Sunday we have live shows on Sunday. So we're gonna switch it up to Tuesday night at 6. Get the word out, and hopefully everybody will keep defining these words. But we got an awesome word dealing with your conscious mind, and just going over to the other side. See, we was led to believe that paradise was a place, a physical place, which it is. It becomes physical once you cross over into the consciousness. It is a state of consciousness. And once you cross over to the promised land from where you at right now, then everything that you imagine or put your will on, you create that promised land. And that's how this work. So we're gonna jump right into it with this divine word. Is beautiful. Metaphysics meaning of Abraham. A region beyond. A region beyond. A passage. Fords. Crossing. Now these words, you go back and you do your own homework. And I would tell you to use the etymology dictionary, because you'll get a more pure understanding if you use the etymology dictionary. But regions beyond, passages, fords, crossing. Now that word fords it messed me up, because I was thinking about the Ford car. And that is where they get the name from right here, out of this metaphysics. All of this stuff is old material and old knowledge, but we haven't, like I say, and I keep telling people, they didn't allow us to get this kind of information to better ourselves and better our situations. But let's move on. A region of mountains in the country of Moab, opposite of Jericho. Now you can read this about this in Numbers 33, 47, and 48. Deuteronomy 32 and 49. So I use the Bible because I know the code in it. And these words are the codes. And once you realize how to use this metaphysical dictionary, you're going to get both sides. It's like a whole nother book that is breaking down the spiritual side, the conscious side of the Bible. The Moabites were descendants of Lot, whose name means hidden a covering, or a dark color. Lot's domain is the flesh, the physical body, the outer portion, the part of man consciousness that is still in darkness. The part of man consciousness that is still in darkness. Mountains are high places in consciousness. Among the peaks in the regions of mountains, Abraham or Nebo, Pisgah, and Peor, it was from the top of one of these mountains peaks that Moses was shown the land of Canaan, which was the possessed by the Israelites. It was there that Moses died, that the Moses consciousness, look at the word, Moses consciousness or understanding of divine law. Moses was the law giver, the divine law giver. But guess what happened? Once Moses died, it was merged into the I am, which was Joshua. If you read the story, Joshua took Moses' place. Well, Joshua and Jesus is the same word. Joshua and Jesus is the same word. It is within us, the I am, the positive expressions of the law. Abram, therefore, through situations in Moabite, the flesh or carnal consciousness represent high inspiring thoughts that look away from error over into the promised land, that see the possibility of evolution of the whole man, spirit, soul, and body, to spiritual consciousness. And this is what you got to remember. You got to understand that we are seeking the Christ consciousness. We are on one side, on this dark side, this side of ignorance or error, and we trying to climb the mountain so we can see on the other side, which is the spiritual consciousness, the divine consciousness. So when we study and meditate on words and life and situations and stuff like that, that will propel us to get to the other side. It was a land that was promised. Well, it's not a physical land. And the things they doing in Israel, that wasn't supposed to be a physical event. It is Israelite in Israel is a consciousness within you. But, you know, as within, so without. When enough people believe in something, they can create something. Let me say that again. When enough people believe in something, they can create something. So here's the thing. What you have to do as an individual, you first got to know that there is a place in your consciousness that was dark, the darkness of your consciousness. Now, it's another side to your consciousness that bring you into the marvelous light of your consciousness. And once you can see that within your realm, see the all good around you, see your life blossoming and all good things are coming from above, all things around you is prosperous. There's no ill will towards anyone, and love and happiness and joy and peace and all good things, then you start changing your characteristics of duality, of good and evil. There is one present, and that presence is all good and all divine. But you got to change your conscious mind and feed your conscious mind that you are divine. The spirit, the energy, the love that is around you is divine, and you one with that. And that is bringing you into a consciousness of divine development. And that's why this word is very important. See, it's saying, listen, a region beyond, a passage. Now, forward means to, it's like a passage way or a harbor or something like that right there that you go into. And when you go into it, it leads you to the ocean, the big part. It's like a shallow place where you cross over into a big place. You know, that's what forward means. But crossing, when you cross over into the promised land, you got to see the promised land first. Listen to what I'm telling you. You got to see the promised land first within you in order to get to the promised land. You can't get to the promised land if you don't see the promised land within you. And if you don't even know that you got the promised land within you, you would never look for it. And that's what DaVirgo TV is pointing out, that the promised land you've been waiting for to cross over into is already in you. But you got to sit down and cultivate that Christ consciousness so you can develop your promised land. And when you develop your promised land, you bring your peoples with you. And then you start teaching them this goodness and this love, how to change and renew their mind back to its original self. Use the divine mind. See, we using carnal mind. We using the mind of what people gave us. We using the mind that was forged for us to be the sheeple. Instead of being the shepherds, we became the sheeple. So this mind in this promised land that is for you, you got to change your consciousness. And the only way you raise your consciousness and climb that high mountain, it said it was 4 mountains in that region. And that's the same equivalence of the size of pyramids. Some pyramids really have an indent in the middle, so they got 2 sides on every side, so they got 8 sides like the octagon. But we're gonna say from face value, when you see a pyramid, you only see 4 sides. So the tip is the peak, okay? And if you can stand on that peak and let your light shine and just look at all 4 sides, you'll see farther if you was on the top than you would if you was at the bottom. So the illustration, what the divine word is trying to tell us is that we gotta rise within ourselves, know that there is a promised land within us in our consciousness that we create because we are creators, and then therefore we will manifest the life and the passion and spirituality that we desire. But we have to sit down and be still and know that it's present. The substance, the divine substance is always with you. The Holy Spirit is always with you. The divine mind, the intelligence of the universe, the godliness is always with you. You are one with that. You are the Christ within you. And so when you understand that there's a promised land, okay, inspiring thoughts that look away from error. The life you living now is error. The way you thinking now is error. Okay. You look from error over into the promised land. Where the promised land is in your spiritual house, your spiritual closet, your body, within your mind. When you close your eyes and meditate, that sees the possibility of evolution of the whole man. You gotta you gotta see your whole self, mind, man, spirit, soul, body, to spiritually consciousness. You gotta see your whole self in that promised land. It's a promised land within you. Let's just go to the promised land. Let's see what promised land say, what it is. Promised land. Metaphysics meaning of promised land. Okay. I didn't think that was see Canaan. Okay. Metaphysics meaning of Canaan. Canaan. Realize nothingness. Material exists. Listen to what it's saying. Realize nothingness, material exists. Realize nothingness, material exists. Traffic in material reality, a merchant, a pirate, low, inferred, lowland. A land that was given to the Israelite by God for an everlasting possession. And these are the books you can read them out of. A son of Ham, one of Noah's 3 sons. Okay. Canaan means lowland. That is the body consciousness. That the redeemed body is the promised land. And when man rediscover his lost dominion of all the promises of the scriptures, he will fulfill it. It is not a dream that man is to possess an immortal body. It is a sole fact. In order to redeem the body, man must enter with his spirit thoughts into this organism and teach it the saving truth. This is the symbolic teaching of Joshua. We also think of Canaanite lowland or referring to the subconscious mind, subconsciousness. Metaphysically, it is represented humbleness and representative receptiveness. The land of Canaan to represent the unlimited elemental forces of being in which man is placed in, to which he gives character through faith in God as omnipresent spirit. See, to mystics, it is the name of the invisible substance that surrounds and interpregnance of all forms, of which it is the mother. Canaan, the son of Ham, refers to the flesh organism and tendencies of man. It is referred to the physical and not to the spiritual. See, listen, you only been taught a portion of the truth through the Bible. King James and all the people before read it, wrote the Bibles in a way where it wasn't giving you the whole understanding. All your gettings get an understanding. See, if you would have had this when you first picked up the first Bible, if you would have had all this information to go along with this right here, your body probably right now will be in pure light, per spirit. You probably be healing people. You probably be walking on water and doing all kind of things with this, because you have the capacity of this dominion in you. Everything in this world is in you. Anything in this dominion of consciousness, anything in this universe, in this galaxy, in this world, is you. And it's been hidden from you. What they call what they say Lot name, the Moabite, were descendants from Lot. Listen what it said. The Moabites descended from Lot, whose name mean hidden or covering or dark color. What did that mean? That Lot, if you go back and read the story of Lot and Abraham and understand it with a spiritual eye, that he wanted to stay in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's the path he chose. But the hidden knowledge was a covering of dark color. And his domain is the flesh. He wanted to stay in the fleshly mind instead of going into the spiritual mind. And that's why I represent hidden darkness. When you hide something in the dark for people can't see it, or you cover it up, or you put it behind something that they can't see it. And that's what they did with this knowledge of self. And the universe is full of information about you, because everything, and I keep telling people, you're the most important thing on this planet. You are the divine ideal, and you are able to remember yourself and take on the godliness characteristics that you once had before this beginning. All of us. But until you sit down and call on the spirit of truth and call on it, you're going to be on the other side of the promised land. And all the promises in the Bible is for you. If you go through the Bible, just that, not just the physical side, and you go through it, all them promises is talking about you. Everything in the book is talking about you and me and every human that is on this planet. Why? And I keep telling people, just use your spiritual common sense. We the only ones on this planet capable of doing anything creative. We the only ones on this planet can do anything with our imagination. We the only ones that can use our mind. You show me something else that can start civilizations and destroy civilizations, then I say, well, they greater than us. But there's nothing on this planet greater than the human, the spiritual being. Nothing. And when you understand that and internalize that and know that the substance is all around you, just like the fish in the ocean, the water is there and they move through that medium so smooth and easy, and everything is provided for them while they're in there. You are the same way moving through this breath medium. Everything is here for you. It's all a con game, the way you living. They covered it up. They covered it up. It's a con game. The Moabites. Moabites were the descendants from Lot. Okay. Let's see what Moabites is. We got a little bit more time. Let's see what it is. And once you get into this, it's gonna be beautiful. You're gonna thank me. You might not thank me now, but you're gonna thank me later that you see this, and you're gonna see your change. See, you're gonna see your development. Day by day, you're gonna get greater and greater in every way. Moabites. Okay, of the belonging to Moabite. Descendant of Moabite, son of Lot. Okay. Thoughts of springing from and belonging to that in the consciousness which Moabite signify. Thoughts of springing from and belonging to that in the consciousness. Well, what it's saying is when you say offspring, your consciousness expands and it springs forward, always forward, always forward. And it spring off into avenues that connect with other consciousness. That's how we can tap in to all kind of information when we just sit still and meditate. But the definition of Abar, which you can find it in Numbers 3:33 and 47 and 48, and Deuteronomy 32 and 49, Abarim, a region beyond, passage, fords, crossing. Your mind, the way it is right now, you can cross over to a higher consciousness and change into the spiritual being that you truly are. With that being said, I love you. Know thyself. Be true to thyself. And love thyself. Peace.